Hey guys, I'm coming at you with a stretching video today. So this is going to be a little bit different than the usual stuff, but treating your body right and focusing on recovery is really important as well. So I've got Mike here with me. We're relaxing and recovering. So, yeah, so get comfortable. We're going to get down on the ground first, and we're just going to stretch for about 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our feet together and bring your toes in nice and close next to your body. So we're going to start on the ground and then we'll work our way up to standing today. I'm going to focus a little bit on the legs at first. So in this position you want to be pulling your heels in nice and close and pushing your knees down if that's what's accessible for you. And then you can also pull your toes in and lean forward if that's something that you need, a little bit more of a stretch. So we're just going to hold it here. We're going to hold most of our stretches for about 20-30 seconds. Nice and relaxed. How you feeling, Mike?
That my knees are much higher off the ground than your knees.
Whatever works for you. Okay, now we're going to take our feet flat on the ground and we'll just lay down on our back. Okay, and what we're doing is we're going to just let our knees fall to one side, and we want to really let that stretch happen. So you're trying to touch your knees to the ground and your opposite shoulder to the ground at the same time. So I've got my right shoulder on the ground and my left knee on the ground, and then we're going to go the other side. And if you want to, you can hold on to your knee and stretch and look over that arm that's extended. Now we're going to go side to side a little bit more. So we're trying to create a little bit of motion here. So not all of our stretches are going to be static. A lot of them are going to be dynamic as well. All right, extending our legs out long. Now we're going to pull one of our knees into our chest and really tuck it in. Pull it in. And just ever so slightly off to the side. So in and off to the side, like you're trying to put your knee onto your shoulder and holding it there, pulling it in even closer and even closer, and release. We'll switch sides. Pull that knee in nice and close. Just that little bit off to the side. Holding it here. Extending your legs out. Both legs are out. Now both knees are going to come in. So what we're going to do here is pull and hold your knees in just for a quick second. And then we're going to rock backwards and forwards. So just like your little egg, you're rocking backwards and forwards. We're trying to just go a little bit back, a lot of it forward. Eventually coming up onto our sit bones, onto your bum, all the way up. Let's go one more roll, all the way up. From here, we're going to just bring our legs nice and wide. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go side to side. So we're going one side, walk your hands over to the other side, and we're going to go side to side. We're going to move first and then hold.
This is why I'm keeping this off screen. I'm actually over here.
Okay, now let's hold on one side. So as you're holding, what I want you to do is, so I'm holding my right leg, I'm taking my left hand and pulling extra hard with that. So what you want to be doing is thinking about putting your belly button on your thigh, putting your nose on your knee, or putting your nose towards your toes as far as you can reach. So you're grabbing your ankle, your calf, or your foot, whatever you can reach today, but also stretching that side just right here. Perfect. Okay, let's walk it into the front. Going a little bit front, just staying here for just a second, trying to get those inner thighs awake. And then we're going to go to the other side. So grabbing with that long arm from the other side. Oh yeah. And remembering to breathe. Are we breathing, Mike?
I like to breathe. It's a favourite hobby of mine.
Breathing's important. You don't, like, genuinely, a lot of people will hold their breath when they start stretching. It happens. Okay, now we're going to kind of come up into a little bit of a kneeling position. So we're just going to take a half kneeling position. So we're going to come up just like this. Okay, so half kneeling. Let's go both on the same side. That'll make most sense. So you've got your right knee in the air. You're going to put both of your hands right next to you. And then take your right hand and put it underneath. Okay, so what we're going to do here is you're pushing your knee to make big, big circles. This is a good stretch that I use pre-workout and post-workout because it's going to feel different on different days based on where you're feeling the most sore. So if you haven't already gone the other direction, make sure you've gone both directions a couple times. Now you're going to notice that you're feeling extra sore in some little bits, right? So you might want to stay on that little bit for just a little bit. Make some nice little circles, one direction and the other direction as well. This is my favorite stretch because it is a catch-all for the back leg and the front leg.
I'm not feeling it in my back leg at all.
Well, good point. So you're not going to always feel it in your back leg. On days when your quads are extra sore, you might feel it in your back leg, but you might be feeling it in your hammies a bit more. Cool. Now we're going to straighten our leg out. So we're still on that back knee. We're straightening our leg out. What I want you to do is take one hand or the other, whichever one feels a little bit easier, more natural. Grab your foot with your hand, but keep your leg nice and straight. Now we're trying to put your belly button onto your thigh again and pull your toes back at you. If you're already in this position, you're feeling great, actively pull your toes back. You're going to get more of a calf stretch. And keep that knee locked out and tight. Cool, now release, come back into that position in the front. What we're going to do is we're going to put our leg down onto the ground. So you can put your foot as close to your thigh as you need to. So bring your foot in a little bit closer to your thigh. And then we're going to lean forward onto your front leg, pigeon stretch. Now the further away from you your foot is, the harder the stretch is. So this is a bit more intense than doing it right here. So if you want a more intense stretch, try and keep your foot nice and far away from you. And then of course you're just lowering your body down onto that front leg, letting yourself breathe still in this position. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay, all right, so coming up, let's sit back onto our heels just for a quick second. Okay, and let's come up and we're gonna, of course, do the other side. So bring your other foot up front and we'll do that catch-all stretch first. So one hand comes underneath and then you're making circles.
It's a circle of life.
A circle of legs. Who thinks Mike should be in all my videos? Yeah. All right, so big circles, big circles, and then little circles as well. I am feeling this in my glutes and hamstrings majorly. Feels great. Little circles, big circles, both directions. All right. Gently, carefully sitting back into your heels and extending that front leg. So extending that front leg, make sure your knees locked out. Grab with either hand, whichever one you want, and you're pushing your body down, pulling your toe back, or finding whatever extent of this stretch is best for you. Oh yeah. Keep that knee locked out. All right, let's come down onto the ground. We're gonna go to that pigeon stretch again. So we've got our leg coming down onto the ground. So again, the closer your foot is to your thigh, the easier the stretch. So find a distance that works for you. I hold onto my foot to keep it there so that I can stretch a little bit more. If you find that your foot keeps falling back this way, you can actually hold onto it like I am. And take your time. Take your time with all of these. Don't need to rush it. And that's part of why we want to make sure that we're breathing still. We don't want to be causing ourselves pain where we can't breathe. The whole point of stretching is to open things up, not tighten them up. Keep breathing. Okay, let's go back into child's pose. Okay, now from here, we're gonna stay here for just a second. We're gonna try and stretch out our lats a little bit. So I want you to let your hands creep forward. All right, so I'm creeping my fingers forward ever so slightly, as much as I can. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my right hand and put it on top of my left and sink into my right side, okay? So I'm really pushing my body into my right side, leaning over that way. So my right hand's on top of my left, I'm leaning into my right side.
I feel like this would be reasonably challenging for someone with shoulder issues.
Absolutely, yeah. If you've got any shoulder issues, you take this one as slowly as you need to. We're gonna go to the other side. And push, lean into that side. Great. Feeling good. We're moving up the body. Okay, let's come up into a kneeling position, sitting back on our heels. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clasp our hands behind us and stretch our chest forward, okay? So that might be enough, or you might want to flip your hands around so that they're facing out and you really push up, okay? So you can extend the stretch even more, putting your hands on the ground and pushing your chest up to the sky. You're gonna feel this one in your chest and all the length of your arms as well, especially if you're going down to the ground. Pushing your chest forward. All right, let's get a little bit of a twist now. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn and twist away from us. So use the ground and use your legs and use your breath. So what I want you to do is you take a big breath in, and as you're breathing out, you twist. So, and even then from that position, you can probably twist more. So you breathe in and twist as you're breathing out. Turn and twist, turn and twist. Ooh, release that side. Let's go to the other side. So we're gonna, got my hand on my knee and my other hand's back behind me. I'm breathing in and I'm twisting. Ooh, doing some cracks, that's good. Another breath in and out. Yes. Okay, coming up to a standing position now. We're gonna come up to standing. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a nice, easy lean forward with just one foot. So you've got one toe up in the air and you're gonna lean forward onto that one foot. So you're gonna grab your leg wherever you can reach and pull your body down. So you should feel this stretch in the back of your leg and into your calves. You can move your foot around, create a little bit of motion, then we're gonna stand up. And we're just gonna go for a classic quadricep stretch here. What you wanna do here is keep your knees together. So your knees should be together and you're pulling your foot in next to your bum nice and tight. My knees are together and I'm pushing my hips forward. So that's gonna create as much stretch as possible between my hip and my knee, which is where I wanna actually stretch, rather than tipping forward and doing that. That's not doing you any favors. Keep your knees together and push your hips forward. Oh yeah. Okay, let's switch sides. So we'll start with the forward lean. So pop your toe up towards you. Your back leg can be a bit bent to support you. Your front leg's nice and straight. Pulling your toes back towards your face. Checking out your pedicure. How's your pedicure?
It's a bit gross. Yep.
Yeah. Same.
It's a level 2 activity.
Level 2. Moving your foot back and forth. All right, let's stand up. Let's get our quads on this side. Holding that foot, keeping the knees together. You can hold your foot with both hands even, as long as you've got your knees together and you're pushing forward from the hip. We're gonna do one more stretch after this, and then we'll be done. What do you reckon, Mike?
My beer.
Yeah, we haven't been doing much drinking of our beverages, have we?
It's too far away.
Drink break! One more stretch, guys. Last stretch. I'm gonna lean the camera up just a little bit because this one's all about up high. So you're gonna bring your hands together, clasp your hands together like this, like your Charlie's Angelsing. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up and nice and tight overhead. So get your elbows in there next to your ears. And we're just gonna go lightly side to side. So if you've done Bikram, hot yoga, you're gonna have done this stretch before. They start with it, we're finishing with it. It's a bit of a full body stretch. Okay, so then stopping in the middle, stretching up to the sky again, and then taking a lean as much as you can off to the side. So you're gonna feel an intense stretching sensation on one side. Keep holding it there. Breathing, holding. Nice, release. Not big, I'm not holding it that long. Stretch up your hands again. Make sure your elbows are in next to your ears. And we're going for the other side. See if you can stretch even further, even further. And release. Let those arms come down. Wobble our arms around just a little bit. I feel stretchy. How do you feel?
A little bit more stretchy.
All right. So you're nice and warm now. If you want to stretch out anything else in particular that you are feeling is tight for you, then go ahead. And as always, let me know how you go and enjoy.